In this demo I'm going to discuss the logic menu items run, and monitor. And if you recall from an earlier video, we set up an FX731 digital input output card to use these coils and these outputs. So we're going to use those in this demonstration. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a little logic. So what logic is doing is it's saying if the input of start pump 1 goes true and we're not telling it to stop, it's going to turn on this coil. So as we see that logic is inactive, so the first thing we can do is either do a check or check all and check the logic, or we can just tell it to run or run monitor and it'll perform the check and execute. If we select run, the logic will just check, compile, and then start to execute. If we select run monitor, the logic will check, compile, start to run, and enter the run monitor mode where you can monitor the logic. So we're going to just select a run to see what happens. So it compiled, it's active, we have a match in the logic, and everything's fine, but we're not monitoring. So now if we stop the logic engine, we see now that the logic engine is stopped, the counter's not counting, there's no monitor active. And we'll select run monitor, it does the same check. But now we're in monitor mode. And we see that this input is true because it's highlighted. This instruction is true because it's highlighted. And this instruction is true because it's highlighted. So address 1 must be on and address 2 must be off. And therefore that would turn on coil 1. And if we look at the register data, and we look at the inputs, we see that input 1 is on and input 2 is off. And if we toggle input 1 off and input 2 on, we see they change state and the coil goes off and the coil shows off. So I'm going to turn input 1 back on and input 2 off, and then we see that the coil goes on. So the difference between run, monitor, and run is just, does it launch the monitor for you? If you select stop, it stops the logic engine, and if you select stop monitor, the logic engine continues running. So we'll select stop monitor, and as we see the logic engine is still active, but the monitor is inactive.